Notts County Talk, Thursday night, 7:30 means one thing. It is the Pavis perspective. We are back with episode 141. As always, if you're listening back on Spotify, please drop us that 5-star review. If you're watching on YouTube, drop us a like. And if you're new, please do subscribe to the channel. We are powered by Better Bytes, as you will have seen at the start. Help us with everything we do with the channel. So if you would like discount with Better Bytes Computers, a Notts County fan-run computer business in Mapley, Nottingham, then use a code Pavis Perspective, get discount on plenty of things, including computer refurbishments and indeed refurbished computers. George, Thursday again, comes around quickly. How are you feeling?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Not too bad. Steady day at work. Weather's been all right, hasn't it, the last couple of days? Bit of sunshine in there. Can't beat it.
Man, talking about the football. We're third. We're third. We're doing well.
I'm not talking about the football.
Yeah, well, we've got stuff to talk about, haven't we? We've got lots to talk about. This evening, we'll be chatting, obviously, about Crewe, looking back at that game from last season at their place, which was, quite frankly, crazy. We've got Doncaster to chat about. Someone's mentioned here that Jodie's back on the treadmill. Haven't seen the video myself or footage, so that would be great. Talk about the rearranged fixtures, which there are some very iffy ones. Gillingham springs to mind. And then talk about who's going to start up front with no Jatta against Crewe. And we didn't even see Crowley or Didsey last weekend either. So we'll start off, as we usually do, with our opposition fan. We're going to get Tim on, who is a Crewe supporter. Tim, how are we doing?
I'm well, guys. How are you?
Yes, good, thank you. Had you on last season. Obviously, a better season for you than it was for us. And when myself and George did our pre-season predictions, I'll admit I didn't have Crewe as high as they are or as well as they're doing right now. How has the season started in your opinion?
Well, we had an atrocious start to the season. We lost at Barrow on the opening day. Then we got beat 5-0 at home by Chesterfield. That prompted a massive rethink. We went from 4 at the back. We've been playing all summer to 3 at the back, which we've kept up until now. We drew the next game 0-0 against Swindon, which was part of our sort of reset game. And then after that, we went to Bromley and we were 1-0 down until about the 85th minute. So towards the end of our 4th game of the season, I think we'd scored none, conceded 8. We're on our way to our 3rd defeat out of 4. And then all of a sudden we turned it round, came back and won 2-1. Chris Long got a winner at Bromley late on. And then we haven't really looked back since then. We've had one more defeat. Probably quite unjustly away at Newport. We were the better team on the day. Things didn't go well for us. And despite a pretty bad run of injuries, it's been a really promising and pleasing season. We've held our own against pretty much everyone we've played since that 5-0 gubbing against Chesterfield. And we've looked pretty solid and promising shoots going forward in our last few games. So we've finally started to get players back, and we've looked like we can score again. So quietly optimistic at this stage of the season, and I think we've done well to be as high in the league as we are, considering the start we had and the injury crisis we've gone through.
Do you think your poor start could have been a slight hangover from the playoff final defeat against Crawley?
Yeah. Possibly. I mean, I think that and the fact that there was quite a bit of churn, and I think we probably fancied our chances, and I think in a weird way, getting gubbed, getting a big smack in the face, that knocked us on our arse. It probably ended up being the best thing that could have happened, because I think it basically told everyone that you're not going to breeze through this division, and there's some decent teams in here, even the ones that have come up out of the National League, as they always are. And unless you're all pulling in the same direction and working your asses off, you'll achieve nothing. And I think what it's actually led to since then is everyone working their asses off and pulling in the same direction. So it's actually probably the thing we needed to happen at that stage of the season.
Yeah. Pre-season then, if I know it's very hard to give a concrete figure, but could you have given, where do you think what your expectations were for Crewe?
When I did my 1-24, I had us 5th. So we're kind of pretty much tracking for that. In fact, I think we might actually be 5th at the moment. I expected us to kind of do slightly better than we did last season. I was a little bit worried about a couple of the players we'd lost, but I thought our recruitment looked good. And I kind of felt like this was a more even division than last year. I didn't feel that there were the sort of the Wrexhams or the Stockports or the Mansfields that were potentially going to, carry all before them. I kind of figured that, I don't think anyone's going to run away with it this year. Although, again, there's been some teams that have spent a fair bit of money. There's no absolute juggernaut. So I was kind of optimistic that if everything fell right, we could have another good season and at least kind of match our 7th from last year.
I don't suppose you remember where you put us in your predictions, do you? Your 1 to 24.
Do you really want to know?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
I think it was 14th.
Yeah, I understand that completely. I mean, I think we'll go on to the game at your place last season in a minute, but I think for me, away at your place was the time when I thought, yeah, we're not as good as I think we are. I don't think we really created any issues for you. I think, is it Baker Richardson maybe last year got in behind our defence an awful lot and just couldn't score. And from then on, nothing really went right. It was around the period where we got battered at home by Mansfield. Wrexham came to our place and didn't even get out of first gear and beat us, really. So, yeah, I think 14th, I think pre-season, would you say, George, a lot of Notts fans may have also put us around that position?
Yeah, definitely. We were just conceding too many goals, weren't we? We were a bit too easy to play against, and we just looked frail, didn't we, towards especially like the last half of the season.
Yeah, 100%. So, yeah, 14th, I think, who knows? But we've got a manager still to prove himself. Tim,
I think that was my main hesitation. It was I wasn't sure what your manager was going to, or even if he'd last the first half of the season, because I think there were a few doubts about him, weren't there, towards the end of last season. And to be fair as well, I think you made a couple of defensive reinforcements, especially at centre half after I made my prediction. So I might have upgraded you a little bit if I'd have known you were siding. I can't remember exactly what it was, whether it was Badeo or McDonald. It's one of the ones you brought in.
Yeah. And Bedu has been outstanding for us week in, week out. Were you at the game last season at your place?
I was at both.
I don't recall seeing anything like what happened at your place before, especially not with Notts fans who are usually quite mild-mannered. I think it was born out of frustration and a late flag and a late whistle. You know what? Was it a penalty? It doesn't matter anymore. But yeah, that was pretty crazy end, wasn't it? Maybe 20-minute delay.
Yeah, I mean, amazing scenes, really. I mean, you don't. I'm pretty sure you don't see scenes like that in the 4th division in most countries.
Yeah.
I hope that ref got a bit of security walking to his car after the game in the car park. He wasn't the most popular man in the world, was he? But yeah, I mean, it was a pretty amazing game. I mean, I sit right at the very back of our main stand, and we'd already walked to the front, ready to walk out when the penalty was given. We were kind of thinking like, this game's done. We've got a train to catch. Let's get to the front, and then as soon as the whistle goes, we can make a sharp dart. And then when the penalty was given at the end, that was ridiculous. And I think we ended up missing our train and catching the one half an hour later. But I think I'd take a similar outcome on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, I think a few of your fans, not a full-on pitch invasion, but a few of your fans got on the side of the pitch as well after the goal. Looking back on it, I've watched my matchday vlog back, and it's pretty funny, my reaction, to be fair. You realise a year later that it's just a bit of football. But yeah, at the time I was fuming, and apparently that linesman's reffed at Meadow Lane twice and has only reffed in front of the away fans, so not in front of our main stand, which I'm guessing is pretty smart. Usually recognise a ref, don't you? But a linesman can get away with it. You're not going to recognise them.
All he's got to do is pick up the other flag, and you wouldn't recognise him.
Yeah.
Pick up the quartered one instead of the all yellow one, and he'll be fine.
Yeah, it was crazy. And then you came to our place February and beat us again. You had our number last season, pretty comfortable in both games. This year might be a bit different. And you said there's been a turnover in players, your end. Can you give us someone that we might not be familiar with that you think we need to watch out for in the Crewe side on Saturday?
I think after his performance on Saturday at Walsall, Matis Holacek's probably the one to keep an eye on. He's a young Slovakian, born in Crewe, come through the academy. He's in the Slovakian underage team. We thought he'd come of age when we won 3-1 at Edgeley Park last season at Stockport, when he was absolutely superb. And then he's kind of, I wouldn't say disappeared, but he's kind of, he's been played in different positions. He's been on the bench. He's come off the bench. He started. He's been taken off. But he was really, really good at Walsall on Saturday, playing in an attacking midfield role. Not really a 10, more of a kind of one of a midfield 3, but the one with the most license to get forward. And he set up Omar Bogle's goal to open the score in there with an absolutely lovely slide rule through ball between the two centre halves for Bogle to run onto and slide it past the keeper. And he's only a little lad, and I think he's quite a nice lad as well. So I think with his skill set, he's one that you'd want just getting constantly on the ball and playing little through balls and constantly demanding the ball. But I think because he's quite a nice kid, I think being selfish and being demanding probably doesn't come naturally to him. But I think he's starting to get there, and we saw signs of that on Saturday. So if he can build on that, and especially at home, if he can sort of get in between your midfield and your defence and get his head up and play some little through balls to Tracy and to Bogle, we could cause you a few problems. I guess he'd be like sort of Dan Crowley if he's going to be fit.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Our end, Dan Crowley didn't play against Doncaster, didn't come off the bench. Obviously, Jody Jones isn't fit. Jatta is on international duty with Gambia. David McGoldrick didn't feature and didn't feature against Alfredton in the FA Cup either. So, I mean, I think it's a fantastic time to players. And I'm going to give my score prediction later on. I'm going to ask yours in a second, Tim, but I'm not going to I'm not going to hide that I think a draw would be fantastic for us on Saturday, given players we could have out. And I think for you, it's a really good opportunity to play us when we are attacking wise. Defensively, we're still very strong. Attacking wise, we are completely depleted and may have Giovanni Brown, who, if I'm right, George, hasn't actually scored a league goal for us yet since signing on loan. No. And Kedwin Scott, who played 40 odd minutes, maybe a little bit longer against a Leicester under 23. So with that in mind, Tim, before we let you go, what is your score prediction?
Well, first of all, I'm just going to write Giovanni Brown down because Dr. Crewe will see him on Saturday. So that's his first goal of the season nailed on. Just make a note of that. Should get a good price for that. We've been quite strong at home since that Chesterfield gubbing. I think we've won all but one and drawn the one we didn't win. What I heard about your lineup, especially the players you're missing, is absolutely music to my ears. I'll go 2-1 Crewe. With a late, hotly debated penalty from a dodgy linesman's call.
If that happened again, I don't think the game would actually be finished this time.
It nearly didn't last year.
I honestly thought last year could have been postponed if the same happened again. But I think all the players missing, I think Jatta not being there and having no chance of being there because he's on international duty is probably the biggest bonus for you, because I don't know from an opposition fan's perspective, I still don't think that many fans know about him. But he came
on at Meadow Lane last year. He came on with, I think McGoldrick went off after about an hour and he came on. And he looked quite a scary prospect. So, I've kind of kept an eye out for him since then. I've seen he's been scoring a lot of goals. So I'm quite, when I saw he was going to be out, I was really pleased.
Yeah, phenomenal player for us. His goal involvement per 90 is incredible. But yeah, Tim, appreciate you joining us. Thank you very much. Enjoy the game on Saturday. Hopefully it's not a repeat, like you say, of the last game. But yeah, cheers for that anyway.
Cheers, fellas. Take care.
Cheers, mate. Bye. Tim is part of the Row Men podcast. I joined them on Sunday morning. Again, my thoughts. So if you want to go over, have a listen. But another great guest to have on, and that just takes me, George. I just want to ask you, for you this early, is a draw a good result for you? And I don't often say a draw is a good result, but
yeah, I think it probably would be really on the premise of what you've just sort of said about us missing a lot of attacking players. Look, if you said at the start of the season you'll be going into a game with potentially not having Crowley, Jatta, McGoldrick, Jones in the 11, you'd be worried, wouldn't you?
After Matt, yeah, and then Matt, obviously, you say at the start of the season, and after Mac has left, you're left with bare bones.
Yeah,
bare bones. I can't see where a goal is coming from. I hope I'm wrong, but you've lost so much creativity, so much. One of your most creative players is left on the pitch is Bedu.
Yeah.
But you're going to have, I think Scott will have some involvement, which I'm really excited. His goal against Leicester, 121s in the week was a fantastic goal. Get some confidence. And I think what he needed, in the games before that was a goal, and he's got his goal, not just a tap in either, a really good goal. And Giovanni Brown's going to have to, I thought he was good against Doncaster. He's going to have to step up. Our poll question we haven't mentioned, anagram, I don't know if anyone's got the anagram, is really Tojo. See if anyone can get who that is. And I think Chris said something earlier saying, lazy poll question, may as well ask, do you like chocolate? Me and George are actually both allergic, so that was quite insulting. No, we're not. But
Chris.
I'll tell you why, Chris. I've put that because I've seen some social media posts about not playing very well, scraping results, but also had a couple of DMs this week with people thinking we are just not playing very well at all. And are you happy with the performances? So it'll be interesting. I think the poll question will be a landslide because of where we are, but I think, really deeply about that question. And I've heard a few whispers where people are just thinking we're just getting by. I mean, I won't give my answer yet, but I think back to Barrow away. Did I enjoy Barrow away? No, not at all. Not at all. I know it's a one-off, but there's been a couple of performances that have been a bit tricky. George, Doncaster then. Good result or not, given we were leading?
I think it's a good result, to be honest. I think we played well in the first half. A lot better. Really, really, really good in the first half, actually. We were really good in possession. We were deserving of it, I think, going in 1-0 at half time. But then second half, the game sort of turned on its head, didn't it? And I think Doncaster, switched on and they were able to work a lot of openings on us, I think. And to be honest, I think we were lucky to not lose that game. I think the penalty claim that they had at the end, for me, was a penalty. So I think we sort of got off with one there because they were sort of relentless, weren't they, really, at times.
Do you know what saved us with the penalty? The fact that he actually had a shot.
Mm-hmm.
If he didn't get the shot away, it's a penalty, isn't it? But that came from that. I know Bedu nearly gave it away, but that kind of came from the fact that Matty Platt left the ball and went over his head. I've just seen it's just flashed up. Ollie Watkins has scored. Do you reckon we could loan him in?
Be nice. Be nice.
I think you'd get in after Giovanni.
Mate, were you in the nest when he scored the goal against Holland?
Yeah.
Oh, what a moment that was! What a moment.
Was that the semi-final?
Yeah.
Unreal.
Covered in beer.
Unreal.
Covered in it.
I was covered in. I think it was just orange juice.
Right.
So everyone was very sensible.
Okay.
Quite a few messages here about players that aren't here. Didzy apparently rested because on 4 yellows. Obviously, that's looking forward to the fact that we won't have Jatta, so he wouldn't be allowed to play. Dan Crowley apparently, according to Mark Stallard, tweaked during the sort of halftime warm up. I think it's good to be cautious with these players. But I don't know. I was sort of sat there in the away end of Doncaster thinking, why have we not made a sub? And 70 minutes. Why have we not made a sub? Doncaster have made a few of them. They're they weren't just on top of us. Like you said, they were swarming us, weren't they? They were all over us. 75 minutes thinking someone's got to make a sub, and I'm just watching sort of Hinchy warm up, and I think he's not bringing Hinchy on, is he? And Martin doesn't really come on. I do. They were all over us, right? But I don't think we looked tired, and I don't think we ran out of energy at all. I mean, it's credit to those 11 that were on the pitch. We had opportunities near the end. The Giovanni Brown foul with 30 seconds left is just ridiculous from the ref. And we could have had an opportunity to win it. Sam Austin has an opportunity, but he's not sort of alert to the cross coming in. A great save from their keeper from George Abbott just before they score. Yeah. So I don't think not bringing a sub on affected us too much. My kind of issue is, everyone can have their own opinion, is that people just thought it was a really poor performance or a poor result. I don't see that personally. You've gone away to a side level on points with you with the home advantage when we've got massive amounts of players out, no subs, and we're 15 minutes away from taking a win.
Yeah, exactly. And the only thing I'll say, sorry, is in the second half they were more dominant than we were in the first half. I think that's why people probably were a bit more concerned. But when you take moments of the game, that both teams had enough moments in that game to win it. Really, like, clear moments. Do you know what I mean? Like you just said, the save for Abbott before they go on to score, that was such a good save.
It was right. It was like very close to his body, so he had to get down, didn't he? Yeah, I know what you mean. And their goal was well worked. A lot of people were saying as well. Someone, I can't remember, one of their strikers sort of led Platt away from the centre of the box and left Macari isolated for the header, and it was gutting because from where I sat, the second it left the Doncaster striker's head, goal. It was you could see it going in the whole way, which is gutting. But I mean, I'd probably taken a draw before, and even though we let the lead slip, some people here saying we got quite lucky. I think a draw, seeing them miss that chance that like you say, could have been a penalty. I think I would probably have taken that draw. We keep unbeaten away. We then go into a game against Leicester under 21 where I don't really care for the competition. It's ridiculous. It's like crazy that we've gone out with 6 points and winning 2 games, but we've won. And I didn't want to lose that game. I don't want to lose any game of football. And the fact that with a couple of players in there that have been in and around the first team, Martin in there, who else started? A couple of other players that have been in and around the first team. The fact you don't lose is really good. And we were hammered by Leicester, to be honest. They've got some great players. Hammered, yeah. But it's a League Two academy against a Premier League academy, isn't it?
Pretty much wasn't it?
Yeah. But going back to that Donny game, the subs, I don't think we could have done anything. You wouldn't have changed the centre back, would you? You wouldn't have brought Hinchy on, in my opinion, because that would have made us play even deeper. And Martin, well, I don't think in the position he would have come on, he would have offered anything defensively. Like he would have made us weaker defensively. It might have made us better attacking wise, but you don't want to go and lose that game. Yeah, a few people in the chat here, George, saying that they think we might have gone out second half to defend. I don't think so. I think you're never going to go to Doncaster away with the situation we were in with injuries and dominate.
Yeah, I think you're right. No, I disagree with that. I don't think would have been sent out to defend. I don't think that's really the philosophy. I think if it had been down a man maybe or something like that, but for me, no, I don't see that as being the case at all.
No, I don't. What do you reckon to this then? Tony's comment here, George. Goal of the season.
It was a good goal.
It was a stunning goal. I can't see. I haven't seen a better goal this season from us, I don't think.
Oh, and you won't either. You won't see a better team goal than that, I don't think, in League Two this season. What a goal.
I can't think of any actual screamers we've scored this season, have we? Dizzy scored a couple, actually. Dizzy's done well. I can't think of many others. No, team goals. You know, if that goal was scored in like the Championship, you wouldn't have seen the social media sort of buzz about it. But because it was League Two, a lot of people were sort of messaging saying like, or tweeting or quote tweeting the goal saying like, this is what you get in the 4th tier of English football. It was really good. Yeah, Wayne says a Swindon goals. Chris says the best goal since coming back to the EFL. What do you make of that?
It's a great goal. You can't take anything away from it. It's a fantastic goal.
Yeah.
It's one of those goals that just gives you confidence as well. Like you can get goals from nothing, can't you? But when you get a goal when you've worked the game and done some great play, it's just that bit different, isn't it?
Yeah, spot on. To be fair, yeah, you can win games, but if you're winning with the odd penalty here or bouncing around in the box and putting it in the bottom corner, I'd rather win. No, like the clear plan is hold that ball up, Bedu overlaps, puts it in, and Jatta's there with the header. So yeah, really, really pleased with those. Obviously Doncaster is gone now. We've got that point. We still sit in 3rd, and every single week we sit in 3rd, we're closer to a certain, well, not just a certain player, but players coming back, aren't we?
Exactly. Yeah.
We're going to keep saying it every week. The lowest, we can't drop out of the playoffs this weekend. And I'm not being negative. I'm just saying we couldn't drop out of the playoffs. Looking at goal difference, and we could go top. So positives again. We play a side in and around us. Do you think? I think this season more than ever, I think it's really important not to let the teams around us take points off us. I think that's really important this season, and I know that sounds stupidly obvious.
Yeah.
But last season we couldn't beat anyone in and around the top sort of 8, and then that's 3 points they can gain on us. Crewe gained 6 points on us last season, so automatically you've got to make that up. Port Vale we haven't played. We've got to come Thursday night. What do you make of that? Thursday night, Port Vale.
It's just ridiculous, isn't it?
Ridiculous. Is that what you think?
We played Port Vale at home.
When?
No, we haven't, we?
Yeah, we played Port Vale at home. You're right. I forgot about that. We lost 1-0, didn't we? Warsaw we've got coming up on Tuesday, the 3rd of December. Doncaster, we've not allowed them to take any points or gain any points from that. Crewe, we could stop that. MK. Played MK yet, have we? And Grimsby, who were in and around in the other team in the playoffs, we beat. So I think this season, I think this is going to be a really tight end to the season. You look at it now already, 30 for Port Vale, then we've got 27, 27, 27 for 2nd, 3rd and 4th, 25, 24, 24, 23, 22, 22. From 2nd place to 11th, 5 points. So...
Yeah, and you know what? I know I say this probably most weeks, but I hope we don't live to regret those results against Port Vale and Gillingham, because we were just on top, weren't we, in those games? It's just
Gillingham especially. They were sickening as well.
Sickening, yeah, proper sickening.
They were horrible. I still think we finished top 3. I do. But I think, says here, Chris says, think Maynard deserves to get a statement win against a top club with how he's managed us through the injury crisis. Yeah. At this point, I think we're just being unlucky. Like, the way we've played, we deserve to have beaten a top club, I think. We deserve to beat a top club. And I think once we do that once, surely that puts it to bed. Surely. And I look at who we've got coming up. We have an opportunity against Crewe. We have an opportunity against Warsaw. MK is not till Boxing Day. Mike says, Tom, pre-season you didn't have us in the top 3. No, you're right. I had us 4th or 5th, I think. But that very, very quickly changed once I saw those centre-backs that we got in and the way they played. Very, very good. And then Chesterfield and Bradford sit outside the playoffs. They could be one to watch. Bradford don't concern me, actually. Chesterfield do, though. Chesterfield are a decent side. And that takes us really to who plays instead of Jatta. Because we're going to need goals.
Yep.
We're going to need goals to beat these sides. We already don't have Jody providing assists. Because did you see Aaron Demann's got the most assists in the league?
Mm-hmm.
Did you see people saying that we miss him? I think if Jody was fit, Jody would be way past that anyway.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think we miss. Do you think we miss Aaron Neman?
Sometimes.
Do you?
I do, yeah, because
For what?
his overlapping runs, you can't deny he's a great player.
No, I do deny he's a great player. I think he's a good player.
Okay.
I don't think he's a great player.
Fair enough.
I think he could be a great player. And I don't know where he's playing for MK, but not how we used him.
Would you take who would you prefer, Gordon or Neman?
Jody Jones.
Who would you prefer, Gordon or
Gordon
Neman?
or Neman?
You know the answer.
Yeah, the answer is Aaron Neman, but I can't say
Cerula or Neman.
Cerula.
No way. No
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah,
No
I
way.
would. I would, because defensively, not as good. And we're built this season on defence.
Yeah, true.
We are built this season on defence. Go on then, Gordon or Neman?
Both Neman for me.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Really?
I do think I want to see a lot more from Gordon. And do you know what we did see with him? And Gordon has this in his locker, but I don't know why we're not seeing. Maybe it's the way we're playing. I haven't yet got even an opportunity to really see his pace, which must be the way we're playing. You used to see the man bombing down the wing. But Gordon, I didn't even see it against Doncaster, really. Yeah, I would have Naman currently over Gordon, but over Cerula,
It's close, though, isn't it?
That's much closer. There's a lot more to come from Cerula, I think, and I just feel more secure. Like, how many times last season did you see a man running full sprint back towards his own goal? And I know that's the way we played, and I know it's who he was paired with in defence.
Yeah.
And the style we played, which was insane at times, like kamikaze football. But yeah, Ewan says Cerula way better all-round player, but some people, George Richard agrees with you. Joe says with a back three, we're better off with Gordon and Cerula defender. Love those little diagonals from Crowley to the man, though. One thing I will say I have missed this season, it kind of links to our poll question. I have missed the ball between the centre back and full back that got into the man. That ball split teams open. But a lot of those times, those crosses never made it to anyone. So there we go. Chris says, forgetting the man's clearance against Bournemouth. Incredible. Richard says, the man sprinted back well against Bournemouth. He did. I don't think I think we would be promoted without that, because I think we would have gone up the following season.
I think it'd be interesting as well. I know people saying about, was he part of the defence as well last season, which he was. But I'd be interested to see how he'd perform in the current defence. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think he'd be asked to do more defending. And I don't know. It's funny because if you put Gordon in like the Williams side, he'd be bombing forward a lot more, and we'll probably be saying I'm not sure he can defend. Do you know what I mean? I think I know it's a tricky one with a full preseason playing the way. I thought he was starting. I think we both thought he was starting against Tranmere, didn't we? We had him in our team. Can you believe that? That seems ages ago.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Wayne says the man will be perfect in a 4-3-3. As soon as you give a man defensive duty, you're instantly vulnerable. He can't even take a throw in. Do you remember how long he used to take for throw-ins?
He can't even take a throw in.
No, but you know what? As a player for Notts, like take out the position and the formation and the style of play. Good player.
Great player. Yeah.
Not a great player. Good player. So go on then. In that's a really interesting point. In the Reece Brothers era, who's been a great player?
Neman.
No, give over. Great player. Great player for me.
Obvious ones. Yeah, Langstaff, Rodriguez.
Who else is Jody?
Oh yeah, Jody.
Matty Palmer. Great player.
Matty Palmer, definitely. Yeah, Matty Palmer.
That's 4.
In the Reece Brothers era.
Yeah, just Reece Brothers era. Don't say
No
Casper
question.
Slot.
I was just about to say it as well. You stopped me.
Wayne says
Kasper Sloth has to be.
Wayne says Roberts. What do you think? He was when he first signed. I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah, it's a shame. It is a shame. It's a shame the way it went for him. But you know,
Wootton's in there. Wootton, great player.
Remember the free Carl Roberts scandal?
Yeah, with Regan Booty.
I didn't even remember his name.
Great players.
Wootton, yeah, that's a shout. Roberts, Jim O'Brien. That wasn't a Reeds Brothers signing, Callum, was it?
Come on, Callum.
Come on, Callum, get with it, mate.
But he's been in the Reeds Brothers era, though. We didn't say sign him.
Yeah, but come on.
I think there's four. I think Jody, Palmer, Macca, and Ruben. Would you count Dan Crowley? I would.
I'm going to say Bass as well.
Bass, great player. 15 games. Great player. Club legend.
So far, he's been a great player. You can't say, oh, he's only played 15 games, so he's a good player. He's been a great player in those 15 games.
What? So if you say, a great player in those 15, yeah, I get what you're saying. I can't really argue with that. Wootton was very good. Very, very, very good. I'm going to say bordering on great. Maybe great. I mean, it's certainly...
Just didn't back him all the time to score when he was for on goal, did you?
Not always.
I always remember that one against Stockport at home. When he was through, it was a really tight game, and then he just missed this great chance.
Yeah.
It's a shame.
So going all the way back to that, who starts at top against Crewe?
I think there's not much of an option. And I think for Scott, who's obviously struggled with injuries, obviously he's come back now after a brief time off to focus on his mental health. He's probably struggled to work his way into the squad at the start of this season as well, alongside his injuries, so he's found it difficult. What better time for him, really? He's just come back. He scored a good goal against Leicester.
Hang on, sorry, I was reading some of the comments. You saying Scott starts?
I'd like to see Scott start, yeah.
I think he's on the bench.
Okay, fair enough.
Because a lot of people saying Didsy's back.
Oh, Didsy's back. Oh, yeah, of course.
But Didsy's been playing
behind
the striker. I'm not sure Didsy works as an out-and-out striker that way.
Yeah, true. I think Giovanni Brown as well, playing behind the striker works well. So
that's the thing. The two strikers, the two players we've got potentially playing, Didsy and Giovanni Brown, I don't think are, or for us, I wouldn't have as out-and-out strikers. So that does leave Scott.
That's my thinking, really.
I still don't think he starts.
Okay.
I can't see it. I've got my team in my head anyway that I'm going to say in a minute. I've got it.
Are we going from front to back this week?
No, we're not even at that. We're not even at that yet. Stop. Come on. You need to calm down a little bit. Let's go to the poll question then.
Let's go for the teams then.
Right then, that's a show.
Are you enjoying football at Notts played so far this season? 92% say yes. No gets 8% of the vote.
8%?
8%.
Where are you?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm yes as well. But I just wanted to check because there clearly are some people that aren't. I mean, 8% have voted, they're not. Why do you think that? Why do you think there is that 8%?
Because 8% of people don't think we're playing well.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not even going to react to that. But Callum says need more votes. How many votes were there? You
91.
91.
Yeah, but we've only got 103 live viewers at the moment, according to
England are playing.
Because England are playing, yeah.
When did we did another one when England were playing?
Yeah, I think they were playing Greece as well.
It was the Greece one. We lost, so you know. And I do think we're a bit more defensive. And I get there's been some performances where we haven't looked very good. We haven't looked great in some of them. Like you mentioned Gillingham and Port Vale. Gillingham we were great. Port Vale we were all right, but then second half we just petered out to nothing. Barrow obviously was like, what's going on?
Yeah.
So yeah, interesting. Right, should we go for our lineup?
Go on then.
Bass in goal.
Passing goal.
Same back three.
Same back three.
Same wing backs.
As Saturday against Doncaster.
Yeah. But you're not swapping out Gordon for the man?
The man plays Ranky Donston.
Yeah. Great player for them. Good player for Notts as well. Midfield has to be Palmer, has to be Abbott.
Mm-hmm.
That leaves 3. And here's what I think is going to happen. I think you have Sam Austin and David McGoldrick playing behind Giovanni Brown.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. But I want to see David McGoldrick, Giovanni Brown behind Kevin Scott.
Joe says might come too soon for Kedwin. May not mention Brown. Maybe down the middle as an option. It's not like he's come back from an injury, is it, Kedwin? So it's not like we're protecting an ankle or a knee or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. And if people follow him on social media, they'll know that he has been training as well. He's been, actively training with coaches and stuff like that, which he's put on his like stories on his social media. So it's not like he's took this time off and lost a certain amount of fitness. He's kept up with that.
Makes me think.
I think he'll be ready to go.
60 minutes, maybe for a reason. Why was it not 90? You know what I mean? Maybe keeping him for Saturday. Milkman Hero says Scott has 9 on his shirt for a reason. Ewan says Brown and McGoldrick behind Scott would be ideal, but maybe wishful thinking.
Number 9.
Yeah. Martin says Robertson in midfield 2 with 1 less up front. Robbo. Forgetting about some of the players who got injured.
First name on the team sheet.
Against Chesterfield, 100%. Did we lose the game? Did we lose the game?
I can't remember.
We drew 2-2. So you know what? You need to just relax yourself.
Was he good?
Robbo. First 5 minutes was shocking. Then he was all right. I'll rate him after that. I think he gave the ball away 3 times in the first 5 minutes, but after that, it was first name on the team sheet for me. First name on the team sheet after 5 minutes for me. But then we've got Edwards.
Just don't start him. Put him on the 6th minute.
What? Start with? Would you use up a sub then, or would you start with 10?
It's a really good question. It's a really, really good question.
If you said to the ref, one of my players is shocking at starting games, can I bob him on after 5 minutes? Do you think I need to start with 10? What reckon the ref would say? Surely you can't.
Maybe.
You're definitely not allowed to start.
Yeah,
with
but
10.
maybe just frame it a bit differently. Or the lad stubbed his toe in the back. He's just putting it on some ice. He'll be out in a minute. Do you know what I mean? Frame it like that, Tom.
I don't know. I don't know if you can do that. Or the second the whistle goes, you tell him to go down, and then he shuffles off the pitch and just stands there for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
First name on the team sheet for me though. Always.
Yeah. We should ask like a referee or like a referees union.
I bet there's a referee could get on here now. Not doing much in his time.
Not very nice.
I'm a qualified ref.
I thought it was about someone else.
No, mate. I'm a qualified ref. Edwards and Grant. They've got to be back soon.
Yeah.
Got to be back soon. Who out of those two? I think it's very close. Who out of those two would you like to see, back in that lineup first?
Probably Edwards. I thought Edwards was really good before he got in.
Yeah. I'll be honest. I watched Edwards against Boston and I thought he is not a footballer. No, he's great.
To be honest as well, I keep calling him Rob Edwards.
You do.
I do. I can't get it out of my head. It's Curtis.
Yeah, Curtis Edwards. Yeah. Wayne says you are allowed to do it. If a team is short of players and someone turns up, they can come on.
There you go. Stubbed his toe in the locker. I'll be out in a minute. It's all right.
Just having surgery.
Yeah.
Having surgery in the change room. Why is it in locker room as well? We're not American.
I was in America in the week, so
you actually were. Where was it you went?
I can't remember.
Hey?
I was over there for the election.
That was last week, wasn't it? The week before?
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Whereabouts?
Just out and about.
Just here and there,
Yeah, just see how it goes down over there. I don't like to read the news. I like to go to it.
Fair enough. If you want to know where George was, I urge everyone to DM him on Twitter. Everyone message him and ask him where in America he was, and he'll let you know. I just think he's too.
The answer is behind a paywall.
Yeah. You have to subscribe to George's. You can do that subscription thing on Twitter now. You have to.
Yeah, and is it capped, the price?
I don't. $32.99, and then you message George and he said, "I'm not telling you."
Where's that? Where's not telling you?
I only tell people that have been subscribed for 3 months, and then just before the 3-month loop comes round to
just delete my account,
you close it. Channel's gone off YouTube and everything. Right. Score predictions then. Score predictions. Right. I'm gonna have to say 1-1. I can't see. Honestly, I'd love us to get a win, but I mean, we could be sat here and next week and Crowley, Didsey have all played, so
true.
I think it's gonna be 1-1.
I think it's going to be 2-1 knots.
I'd love that.
Giovanni Brown and Didsey.
Yeah.
Who's scoring for you, Tom?
Kedwin off the bench.
Oh,
I think be incredible. Late as well. Late penalty. The reverse of last time. Shane says 1-1. Pete says 1-1. Bob says 0-0. Richard says 3-1. Martin says, great show, guys. Going to give you both a 7. I'll take that. 7's good in my book. 2-1 knots, Platt with 2. We've got a 3-1 from Paul. We've got a 2-1. We've got a 2-2 and do a dodgy penalty. We are 1-1. We've got 1-0. Mickey says, I'd love 1-1, but conceding doing is 2-1. I won't be surprised. 1-1, 2-2. Callum says 4-1. Chicks McCall for his hat trick. Scott 90th minute pen. I'm going to go through. There, 2-1 Bedu, and Phil says first away loss. Helen says 1-1. And is this the first time ever the anagram hasn't been?
It is.
I think it is.
It is.
It's not Leroy Lita. I think it's the first time this has never happened. Leroy J. Lita. Does that even work? There's no I. It's a J.
There's no I. What's going on here?
There's no I. I'm going to give everyone 20 seconds to get in who this could be. I'm going to give you a clue. They're quite recent. Unless we've spelt it wrong and it's impossible. I'm just having a look.
Oh, brilliant.
Nice. Right. Yes, there we go. McPie has got Joel Taylor. I wonder where he is now. He scored an absolute screamer in Williams' first game, didn't he? Against Maidenhead. Or Maidstone. One of the two.
Great
absolute goal. Screamer. And then on the opposite side as well, inverted wingback. But well done. Joel Taylor was correct. Right. Another great guest we've had on. Tim was fantastic. Crewe fan. It's going to be a good game. It's going to be a really tough game. If we're sat here next week and we've got a victory, wow, that would be absolutely incredible. But also, I want us to keep that unbeaten run away from home. I think it would be important going into a Newport game at home where you'd expect us to win. If you are travelling, whether that's by train, coach or car, safe journey. Leave us a like, please. We really appreciate it. Anything else you want to comment after the video, please do. We read all our comments. And as always, please do subscribe to the channel.